Hi, my name is Corry Lankford, and this is my build, the Rebel Cargo Freighter. So on this build right here, I built this to be a kind of something that was Star Wars inspired, that was never in any of the movies, but something that I thought the Rebel Alliance desperately needed, which was some logistical support on moving some cargo. And so what we have here is the cargo freighter, and on level number 1, there's office centers. And then there is an area where the pilots are meeting, and they're having a place right there where they're doing strategy and all. And then next to it is a droid repair bay and charging bay. I have a Gonk droid out front, and then of course the classic repair caterpillars and all. About the build itself, this middle section where the yellow lights are going, this kind of wider section is where all the wires are running throughout the ship, and they actually run through the bottom of the table where the batteries plug in. My initial intention was to try to actually put the batteries in that middle section, but after it gained about 6 or 7 batteries to run it, I decided it probably wasn't a good idea. So running them out of the bottom of the build made more sense. And then as you continue to go to the back of the ship, we have a shield generator at the back where we have many people working, astromechs and all, and I used some of the little lid pieces and some of the macaroni and all back there to be able to kind of accomplish some piping effect and all. And then going up a level is the a shield generator. That shield generator is using those X pods, which seem to be really, really popular, and I've used them in some of my other builds, but space builds use those X pods a lot. And I had 2 more left, so I decided to use them here. And what those are is just I put lights inside of those to kind of give a little bit of an effect there. And then moving again towards a little bit to the front of the ship, we have the med bay. I built a custom droid pushing somebody on a gurney. And then, of course, there's in the med bay, there always has to be somebody in a back-to tank. So there's a man in a back-to tank towards the back. And then, of course, something that I always wanted to do is have a ship big enough where I could put a cafeteria in it. So I actually was finally able to with this ship. And so there's plenty of people cooking and pizza, and they have hot dogs and croissants and all the classic Lego food. And of course, no Star Wars build is complete without a droid serving blue milk. So I have the blue milk being served, and like always as a Star Wars classic. And then a little bit more towards the front, which is one of my favorite details of the inside, is the greenhouse, the garden. So I was trying to fill up this ship, which is kind of the opposite problem that I normally have. I had so much extra space in these 2 levels. And so I said, what could I put here? And so I decided on a greenhouse because it just sounded like something that'd be kind of neat to be able to do. So, they have a banana tree on the inside. There's pumpkins. And, of course, a nice little part usage and Easter egg is the Fabuland cart that has the pumpkin and the watering can in it. And then towards the top level, we have the green pods. Those are actually cargo pods that I built. And the idea behind those, if you want to go to the front of the ship, is those would be taken. There's a forklift that would have taken those and put them on the belt, and the belt actually rotates and takes the cargo to the front, where another ship would come in, grab one of the cargo, take it away, and then they would load more cargo and keep taking it.
So I love that with the movement there.
Yeah, so yeah, movement always catches the eye, so definitely wanted to incorporate some movement into this one. So the green cargo pods, you have the forklift, as we talked about, and then a little bit further back than that, we have like a break area and a computer area. There's some people, again, I guess everybody's just eating on the ship. We got a guy eating pie and pizza there. And then right behind it are the living quarters. There's 4 rooms with beds. They each have porch lights that work on the outside. Another Gonk droid, and then, they're all kind of there. And then a little bit further back than that, there's another work area. And the cool thing about this is the ladder that's hanging here actually goes up into the bridge. So it's actually somewhat functional, where there's a hole that goes through the bridge of the ship to be able to do that. And then in the bridge are many, many workers, but also a really cool little thing that catches people's eye is the working screen that's in the back and all. It actually has a screen that's playing in the back.
How did you set that up?
So what I did here is I took and I just encased a screen from Brick Stuff. I encased it in Lego, and then the wires actually go up and are in the top and the battery is in top of the deck, so you realize how the top of the command deck is a little bit taller. I use the Lego chairs to be able to, and reverse those to be able to give myself a little bit more width to be able to tuck a battery. So it's kind of like a credit card size cell phone battery that sits in there, and that battery is powering that, and there's just a little wire that drops down to that screen. And then on the very back is the engines. And on the engines, I really wanted to use something cool here. And so I was at another event, and I saw the warp tubes. And I guess I had forgotten that the warp tubes for Mario were made in yellow. So when I saw them in yellow, I felt like it was an answered prayer because I needed something to do with the engines here. And my accent color of yellow had already been chosen. So to be able to find the Mario warp tubes in yellow was a good find, because that allowed me to be able to use those. And the cool thing about this is and I can kind of show you here, there's a door in the bottom. And that door actually is where some of the batteries are kept. So those are the batteries that run the engines are under there. Those are the only batteries that don't run out of the bottom. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, I made some custom X-Wings to run escort alongside. They're kind of a stubbier version of a normal X-Wing. So I kind of wanted to create just something to run escort with the same kind of color scheme. One of my favorite part usage on the ship, though, is got to be the cargo containers themselves. So these are the cargo containers. So what we've done here is I've kind of stripped off the side so that everybody could see inside of it. But these right here actually go and attach to the side of the ship. So I'll show you one of these. So these are actually, people wonder what these are. These are actually the IKEA box. These are the IKEA boxes that IKEA released. And what I did is I just did a plating system on the back and then made a simple latch system. And this simple latch system connects to the Technic frame that's on the ship to actually allow them to latch in to the ship itself. So these actually just kind of take and they just slide on to the ship. Just lift this and they slide on, and then they would latch to the Technic frame that's right here on that. And the other side is the completed side so that people can see it fully completed.
Perfect. Well, we'll stop now and take a look at the other side then.
Okay, perfect. So here's the actual completed side of the ship. So these IKEA boxes that you saw to allow them to expose the ship now are connected on this side. And so what I've done here is just really a bunch of Greble work on the side of this to make sure that everything has a little bit of character to it, using some really neat parts here on just trying to give some character detail there. And then a kind of a little Easter egg, and a lot of Lego people know this, but the cargo, so this stands for Cargo Freighter 0937. But the cool thing is if you take the numbers 0937 and flip them upside down, it looks like the Lego is what it spells. So that's kind of why I chose that number, was a little thing like that.
How did the weapons turrets come together?
So the weapons turrets came together from a lot of people heckling me over the years, because the two other previous builds that I did, I built these really monstrous Lego Star Wars builds, and people came up to it and said, what would they do if they were attacked? You have no weapons. And I was like, that's a good point. But I never went back and had weapons. So this time around, I said, I'm going to determine to make sure that I have weapons from the get-go. So those were actually one of the first parts that I built. And they actually all rotate and do, that and all. But they really came together as one of the first pieces that I came together. I knew my accent color was going to be yellow, so I kind of ran with those and all. And then I had just enough parts to be able to do those. So I felt like that was, since I never really built guns, that was kind of my first stab at building them, was on this ship.
Are these some of the old skate park type pieces here?
It is, yeah, good eye. Yeah, those are the X Games. Those are the X Games snowboard half pipe piece. And I've used the blue ones from the NBA arena on one of my previous builds. So this was kind of cool to be able to do that, to try to have a kind of a unique theme between all three of the major builds. And actually the new yellow skate park ramps that are in the front here, those were the ones that actually were the piece that determined what accent color I was going to build this one, because they don't come in a lot of colors. Yellow is a pretty easy color to use once you find that you can, a few pieces that only come in yellow. So I know that those come in a few other colors, but that was the part that whenever I had enough of those to do, I think they were part of an order that I did. So I was like, I really wanted to make sure that was the color that I went throughout, and that was kind of the part that determined that, was that yellow skate ramp.
Yeah. Excellent work here. Thank you so much for taking us through the build. I appreciate it.
Thank you all very much. Appreciate it.